about a mile and a half from my house, out here in what's called McPherson's Woods or Erbst Woods, in Gettysburg National Military Park. And today I'm going to share a ghost story with y'all. But some things I've seen in my life is back in the early 80s when my grandfather died. Shortly thereafter, I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw him looking in my bedroom window, and he was lit up by light. But I'm going to share with you just my first experience in Gettysburg. Made the hair stand up in the back of my neck. And so, I live out here on the battlefield. I'm about a 3-mile hike through the woods into the center of town. And one day, probably 3 years ago, and I practice what I preach. I walk as often as possible, hike through the woods, into town, run my errands, pick up groceries. I have a vehicle, but if you walk, you're getting that exercise that you need, that I need. In any event, I went into town, went to the library, picked up some books, and I was trucking home, and this is my usual route home on what we call day one of the battle, and I live over on Willoughby Run. And so I was walking home about this time of night, and again, I'm sorry if the video is dark. I'm always out late in the day or early in the day. But in any event, I was walking home, backpack, books, listening to tunes, and this is my usual route. And so it's about this time of day, about 5:30, and I'm walking right here. I'm about in this spot. In any event, this is the scene of a great battle on July 1st, 1863. And the men of the Iron Brigade were engaging Archer's Brigade of Tennesseans and Burgoyne's North Carolinians. And so here, right across from right to left, thousands of men were shooting at each other. And I was right here, and I'm walking right up this way. The sun was out. It was a beautiful day. It was daylight. And right from behind that monument, I looked up and saw a shadow run right down that hill, this close to me, and disappear right when it hit the road. And the shadow did not have a head, and the shadow did not have a right arm. I've worked outside for almost 30 years, and at first I thought, well, it must have been a deer, but a deer in these parts would have a white tail. It must have been a shadow from a hawk, an eagle, an owl. There's really big owls here. The thing is like I said, I've worked outside for 30 years, and a deer would have been going into the woods, not ignoring me crossing the road. Your mind, I often, wondered to myself, if I ever saw something like that, what would go through my mind? And at first, I tried to make logic out of it. I tried to, like I said, was it an owl? Was it, an eagle? Was it a shadow from the trees? The sun, the clouds passing over. Yeah, it freaked me out as I'm sitting there trying to make sense out of what I saw. And so I experienced what would go through my mind if I ever saw something like that. And I got to about this point in my walk, and that's when I realized I did indeed see what I saw. About a week later, and you guys see my photos on Instagram, you see my photos on Facebook. I like to take photos out here. It's beautiful here. It's the #1 reason I moved here, was for the natural beauty. It's a beautiful place to hike, walk, bike ride. It's full of history. You get a history hike. The Appalachians are nearby. Pennsylvania is a good place to live. You're near the ocean, you're near the mountains. There's lots of stuff to do. In any event, a week later, I'm walking, same spot, my same route. I'm walking the same spot where I saw the shadow, snapping some pictures. Sun was coming through the trees. It was beautiful. It was starting to get dark. In any event, I'm snapping pictures. I'm taking some pictures of the Iron Brigade monument up there on that hill, and I am trucking home. I get home, I plug my USB into my computer to look at the photos that I'd taken, and a nice photo of the Iron Brigade monument. There's a definite form standing behind the monument. If you're familiar with Civil War accoutrements, the man was wearing what looked like, you know, one of the Iron Brigade type hats, a type of hat of the day. In any event, the guy's standing back there just kind of relaxing, and he's smoking on a cigar. And the thing is like I said, when I was there walking through there was nothing there. But when I got home and unloaded the photo on my computer, there's a man standing behind the monument just hanging out. And I posted the photo on Facebook. This was several years ago, and simply with the caption, "Does anyone see anything?" And everyone saw it. The guy was kind of had a little blue haze on him. I know it sounds spooky, but it was spooky. It was what it was. It's what I saw. A week earlier, I'd seen the shadow, and given the fact that thousands of men died fighting where I'm standing, Gettysburg is the most haunted place in the United States. People see things here every day. Again, not as a result of alcohol. But anyway, that's one of my ghost stories from Gettysburg. Thanks for coming along. On my way home, if you're tuning in to my channel here on YouTube, thanks very much. And subscribe. Check out my work on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. And I hope you guys have an awesome night. Over and out.